Yeah, the fibs on SpaceX and Tesla, those are workable Fibonacci levels. No, I don't see it on Marvel. It's not supported. No. What is your question? What about Tesla at the open? Is that what you're asking me? I think it was an overreaction. I think it's a buy the dip situation on Tesla. Yep, I would agree. You got a ceiling like 402.15, pivot at 396.40, risk stop, hard stop at 403, take a profit. You're not going to see 428 today. I know I do think it'll go up. I just don't know if I want to trade it at the open. That's all I'm saying. I'll look at it. Yeah, well, give me the entire Trader Desk report with Tesla included then on those levels I just gave you, so that we have that included along with what was the other one? SpaceX. Yeah, SpaceX for sure. Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. This is the professor with Day Trading for Success. We're about to get ready for our morning session. There I am. Welcome. We're just going over stuff right now for our levels. I was just looking at Tesla with everybody, as well as SpaceX. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, okay. Okay, that's good. All right, so I'm just updating with the Trade Desk report. Let me get things going here, guys. So we're about to go over this layout, the strategy, and then the news and our hard levels from the Trade Desk for the large caps that have hit the scanners that we're usually interested in, and then we'll be trading. Again, remember, I'm not a licensed financial advisor. I think you should seek somebody who's licensed to advise you when to trade. You can watch me trade, but obviously you need to do your own due diligence and take trades based on what you see, not on what I'm doing. Remember, trading's risky. Trade in a simulator first. Make sure you're green. Only trade with money you can afford to lose, and don't really listen to anybody else but other than somebody licensed or yourself. It's fun to watch and the camaraderie of other people trading, but in the end, it's your real money, and you need to do your own due diligence. That said, this is a Thinkorswim layout. Let me get this set up here. Hope everybody had a good holiday weekend. It's kind of messy right here because every time I hop around to a different stock, all this stuff resets. So it's hard to keep it looking clean. It never really looks clean because of how much I have on it, but readable is down here on the 1 minute chart. Let me just open this up so that when I talk about it, you guys know what I'm talking about here a little bit. Let me check my latency for everybody here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 seconds it appears. So I'm about 5 seconds behind you when you see me trade, just so you're aware of that. Or you're 5 seconds behind me, I mean. I'm 5 seconds ahead of you when you watch me trade. I don't know how ways you want to say that. So these are our scanners over here. The top one, consolidation one, goes finds stocks between $25 all the way up to $1,500. They have to have at least 100,000 volume per 1 minute candle on average. And that's going to give us and they have to be over a $25 billion minimum market cap. So you're going to find the big players here that are this is a large cap range bound strategy. So we're looking for big stocks, low share size that we can get base hits on, trying to make $50, $100, $200 a day. If we can do more, that's great. And many people will be trading 500 shares and 1,000 shares on the same thing that we trade 50 and 100 shares on, and they're making thousands and thousands of dollars. It's up to you what you can afford to do. The strategy works really no matter what your share size is, right? So it just comes down to you having a maximum loss per trade, a maximum loss per day, really following your day trading plan, being very, very careful with your share size, right? Logging all your trades and all those things that you need to do to become a professional, successful trader. So we're just trying to do those base hits. Like I said, make $100 a day, $200 a day, maybe more, make a difference in your life, maybe be able to quit that second job, maybe be able to pay that mortgage or car payment, something that really makes a difference in your life. The second scanner here is a little bit different. This is only $25 to $400. You really only need 10K volume per 1 minute candle, but what it brings into the picture is the liquidity. You have to have enough liquidity over here on the level 2 where you're moving 10 to 15 cents on one of these levels, ask or bid, within 10 to 15 seconds. And that's going to let you get in and out for this type of strategy, which is scalping, or specifically we're doing the strike and recoil, which I'll break into in more depth in a minute. And the third scanner here is basically priced between $2,500 and $200. This one you only have to be a $2 billion or above market cap. Both of these were $25 billion or above. So $2 billion or above, only 50,000 per volume per 1 minute candle. Right, this kind of gives you what the 1 minute is over here. Generally, I'll read this on everyone to make sure I'm looking good. You can have lower volume as long as you're getting the opportunities with the liquidity. It gets to be much jerkier to fill your in and out trades because we're only going in for a few seconds usually, unless we get stuck. So this is going to get a different stock. So between all these, we're going to get what we want. I have links to each and every one of these on this video. If you want to go get them, they're all custom coded. They're not just coded what Thinkorswim offers. There's actually mathematical codes put into the scanners themselves, or screeners, whatever you want to call them. What's next on this the charts that are linked, which is a 5-minute, a 1-minute, a 15-minute, and a reduced day. So I'm trading on this 1 minute. I zoom right in. I can easily see the price action here, no matter how many lines you might see. I'm looking right here. I'm looking at my countdown. This is an overlay Python indicator that's also linked, and it'll give me multi-chart alignment. But I'm looking here. I'm looking at level 2. I'm going to glance up at the bigger picture, 15-minute and 5-minute, and I'm going to glance over here at the QQQ and the SPY on a 1-minute chart to see what are they doing, because large cap stocks and mega cap stocks, they move in concert most of the time with either the Q or the SPY. So I'm not sure if it's them moving the Q or the SPY, or the Q and the SPY moving them. I'm not sure if it's a dog wagging the tail or the tail wagging the dog. I don't know. But what I do know is more times than not, they move together. So it's a good idea to have these, because if you see, like, say, this going up, the stock you're trading going up, and you see both of these going down, in the moment, most likely, not always, that upward move is going to die out and it's going to reverse. And it's giving you the indications like, hey, that's not very strong. Be careful. So it's a good idea to kind of have these. These are all linked. These are not linked. They're individual. And I have the news down here. Then this is where I take my trades, the active trader, and this is the level 2. And then inside this chart, this 1-minute chart, I have the 9 and the 20 EMA moving averages. And then I have the day averages for the 20, 100, and 200. So those are days, but they're on a 1-minute chart. So if you come across them, they're highly respected. I have the VWAP, the volume weighted average price. Very important to know. I have a bunch of videos, and one I made recently on that. That's where the bulk of the capital is. So typically the price tends to want to gravitate back toward that throughout the day. So you can usually use that as one of your levels to trust when you're going in and out, just as a waypoint, right? The liquidity meter I briefly touched on. It's up here. It's going to tell me when I get over to the stock how fast I can use it. Now, these are all prop firm indicators I'm getting into that train people how to trade, or the professionals use, the ones that they really want to watch. They don't have to calc them in their head all the time. It's just right there. It's telling them, here's the percentage, here's the arrow going up or down, here's the direction to go. And it's the same data that they would calc in their heads based on historical data from what's recently happened. So that's all indicators are. They're tools that are reading historical data and patterns that have just happened. They're not telling you the future. They don't lag ever. No indicator lags. It does exactly what it's designed to do as a tool, which is read prior data. How close you set that is, how you trade. I mean, most of these are set within seconds so that they're giving you up-to-date, instant information that just happened to help you make the decision. In other words, to line up as many of those indications from prior data that the stock's going to go the certain way. So the more you can line up, the better probability you have that it's going to work. You never have a guarantee, even if they all line up. It might go the opposite way. We're dealing with algorithms, and we're dealing with all kinds of things. The puppet master, we're dealing with stuff. And one of the reasons that we like scalping is because getting in and out is because we can't get trapped up in those big reindeer games that the big institutions do to hurt us. And they're herding the retail traders a certain direction. Just look at it like we're being herded, so that they can then pounce and take advantage of the situation. And that is no lie. That is exactly what's happening on a day-to-day basis. And they make millions upon tens of hundreds of millions every single day herding retail traders. We're retail. They call scalpers bottom feeders. They call day traders retail traders. Then the next ones you have are swing traders, which may go more than a day, 2 days, 3 days, a couple of weeks. And then you're more long-term traders. But the brokerage are the big brokerages are the ones that they have people that are basically herding us, around like sheep. So, if you want to be one of those sheep, it's kind of weird. It's an oxymoron, but I mean, you kind of want to understand that you're a sheep, because if you know which direction everybody's going, that's the price action, right? So if you're just getting in and out before they come and slaughter us, then you're doing great, So you do need to go where the crowd goes if you're going to scalp. Now, they say 95% of day traders fail. The brokerages are the only ones that could put out that data. I don't know how much to trust them as far as that data goes. So they say, oh, you don't want to follow the crowd because 95% of the crowd fails, right? Well, that I think that's mostly true with day trading, like throughout the day, longer. I call those longer trades, right? Because I'm so into the short-term trades. But you do want to go with the crowd, as they're being herded for the short-term trades, right? I've never used the sheep analogy before. I like it. So we want to bat along with the short-term crowd and get in and out before they slaughter us like the day traders. So I do think moving with the crowd is a huge advantage for short-term trades. Anyway, the true target projection below the liquidity meter, I have this up here because as you get into a scalp, it's going to give you how many pennies should you go for if you're going long and how many pennies should you go for if you're going short. I usually only go about 3/4 of those. Just so I'm hedging my bets, like very short period, and I'm lining up as many indicators as I can before I jump in. The main thing you do is the engine down here is the Scalp-Pro meter. It's showing you inside the candlesticks. There's the sellers, there's the buyers, there's the volume. It's going to rev up like an engine. You can see when the volume just passed the last volume, it turns blue, makes a ding. It's like, hey, that direction it's going right now is likely to continue. It already did, and there it goes. And you can pretty much count on that. That Scalp-Pro meter is the most amazing indicator that is out there. If you don't have it, you need to get it. I have a link to it. If you use my link, it helps me, and I appreciate it. You can find it other places. It's really hard to get the newest one like this for free. There's probably a way somewhere, but you might as well just get it backed up by somebody that's going to make sure it works for you. So then the true target projection we just talked about. Then these other ones, the MACD is basically working on EMA that are, when they diverge, expect them to come back and converge. When they converge and cross, expect that it's giving you a short-term trend, very short term on the EMA. So the MACD is a way to call that out, the way it reads it differently than just looking at those EMA levels. But this is even a step further, this one, because it actually gives you an arrow. It gets you an alert. And let's see if there's any error. Yeah, that's the white arrow here. It tells you what direction it's going to go. And there it went. And there it went, right? This other one, the RSI, also tells you which direction it's going to go. It's going to be red and green, and it pretty much lights up when it's at the end of the move because it's telling you when it's overbought or oversold. So it's saying it might not keep going up. Be careful, and that's just what happened. And down here, it might not keep going down. Be careful, and it went up. So you just need to learn how to read these. They're not really conflicting with each other. They're at different time increments. MACD's giving you the direction right then, and the RSI is saying, hey, that direction's almost over. So you start to learn to read these, but it doesn't hurt to have little arrows and alarms, which is what these indicators do. So this layout, guys, is like is trained for, is set up for anybody who's just starting trading. Anybody. But, just starting, obviously, you need to know a little bit about it when I'm talking about this could be just alien speak to you. But as you get into understanding the charts a little bit, and then you don't need to understand every single MACD, RSI, EMA, SMA, when you have something that says that way. So I'm saying that kind of intermediate level, like this is a chart, this is a stock. Once you get by that, then this is kind of the next level to level you up where you don't need to know everything. And all these, which I believe are the best ones for scalping, are all set up right here in one layout if you want them with a link to it. Then the market magnet is the volume profile, and that's the point of control. See that purplish pink line right there? That's where most of the volume is. Much like the VWAP, it's going to be drawn down to that. That's why it's called the market magnet. And this has all kinds of levels. It's souped up for trading large caps. I'll talk about it a lot when I'm trading. Intraday reaction zones are going to have the ATR. What is the ATR? It's the average true range based on yesterday's close, meaning the average true range you expect the large cap to go up or down. Usually cut it in half. When they have, say, the average range is $10, you might not expect it to go $10 in one direction. You usually think about it, well, it could go $5 up or $5 down, like split it in half of that $10 range. So the ATR levels are the quarter, half, and whole of both high and low. They'll be horizontal lines across your chart, and they're reaction zones. Those are the ATRs calced from the previous day. Hey, price action might react at this level, stop dead or turn around. Make note of them some way, mentally or with a line on your chart. It also, this indicator that does it for you, is also going to pick up the pre-market low, center, and high. Fantastic for trading the open, and it's good to look at them overall throughout the day because they retest those levels, particularly with large cap. Multi-chart consensus, pretty amazing. Trading with the crowd, 5-minute, 15-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour, and 4 hour charts. You know, those are based on what are those charts looking at. That those two are green, these three are red, and then you also you have vertical lines that tell you when you're coming up to a change, and you get ready for a possible reaction at those levels. So again, trading with the crowd, what do they see that you don't see? Look at the bigger long-term traders. A lot of people jump in right when the candle closes. Whole and half dollar levels are psychological levels. People like to go in at the whole dollars or the half dollars, particularly the whole dollars, or the 5, 10, 25, 50, $100 levels. So when you come across those levels, you want to know. You know, so having them on your chart so you don't have to remember is very helpful. So that's what's on this chart, and that's why it looks busy. But when you zoom into trade, it's not really a problem. You know, it depends on what kind of trader you are. Now, there's a lot of traders that don't want a single level, and they just know in their mind. Or maybe they only trade by Fibonacci levels. If you watch my videos, you see a lot of videos that mark Fibonacci levels. You always want to mark those left to right. They can be high to low or low to high, but always left to right. And the most often used for scalping and day trading are on a 5-minute chart, no longer than 10 days back. Because you need the Fibonacci levels, the oldest mathematical formula, nature's mathematical formula. You need those to be in the area that you're trading, or they're useless. Now let's break into the strategy. So, and then we'll get into the news. So large caps, range bound. Their ATR high, their ATR low, or their quarter, their half, whatever it might be, or the pre-market levels. We're in a range. We're expecting that large cap to just lumber along in that range because it's not a momentum stock. They're not high. Well, they're high volatility, but not in a way where you expect them to go into a hyperbolic trend straight up or straight down. Now, if you get a news catalyst, be careful. They're no longer fitting the criteria that we're looking for. We're looking for choppy consolidation, the opposite of what you might have been told, that is being parroted to you on YouTube over and over. Somebody says it sounds like it's said with confidence, and then everybody says that's the right thing to do. You know, I made money doing this, so it must be the right thing to do, right? Well, there's no one way. There's many, many ways to make hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars, right? They say that scalping is the fastest way to do it if you're not going to just trade like Warren Buffett, buy Coca-Cola and hold it for 50 years, right? You don't have the time. You need the money now, right? That's why people day trade and scalp. You know, if you're retired, you're just trying to make another $100 to $200 a day, $2,000 to $4,000 a month. Trading this way while you keep your bulk of your capital invested, but it's not quite enough, right? Trading this way augments your income enough where you can make you're not dying and constantly cutting back on your bills. So we look for that constant lumbering along between the range, and then we take advantage of that by going short off the highs and long off the lows, and just making base hits, $10 trades, $20 trades, $50 trades, until they add up, $5 trades, right? When they can add up to what you need. If trading on Thinkorswim's free, so the only thing you're really dealing with is the exchange fees. So for every $1 million worth of stocks that you buy and sell, you're going to pay roughly a little over $20. So you do have to keep an eye on that. If you're only making $1 or $2 a trade and you're trading a $500 stock, you know, you have to be careful because you could actually lose money. So you have to be making, you know, you probably want to trade around that $100 to $300 stock, and you probably want to be making $10 to $20 a trade, and then you don't even feel it. You know, then at the end of the whole day, you haven't even paid $20, right? So keep that in mind when you're trading large caps. But then what we do is we kind of try to micromanage that down those levels so they're tighter. So there's a less chance of us not getting a profitable trade. So we create channels, and we create channels based on the VWAP, the market magnet, or the point of control if you're not using the souped up one, right? Or support and resistance levels from SMAs or EMAs, or just price action order flow, and you're marking pivot lines on your chart. We're trying to find ceiling and floors a little bit tighter, and then when we get into it, we do something that's even more counterintuitive from what's being parroted online. We do the strike and recoil. Now, if you've never seen it and you just listen to all the other stuff, then you would just say that it makes no sense. But you picture a snake striking, it always recoils, right? It strikes, recoils, it strikes, recoils. So when it goes up, we hit the opposite direction. We hit the recoil, right? So that's what this whole strategy is. Now, if it's continuing to strike, 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 and barely recoil, and it breaks the ATR levels, it's trending. Now, you can still recoil that all the way on an upward trend or downward trend. You can still hit the recoil. It gets a little more risky. Most likely you want to recoil with the bias, not against it, you know. But so when it comes back down, then you want to hit the recoil up, like that. You want to go with the bias if it's going straight up, right? But the strike and recoil, I usually only go in 25% of my position. You do what you want to do. I find that it's a way that if it strikes and then I hit the recoil, but it struck again really quick and never made the recoil, I can average in another 25%, which gives me now 50% of my position, and it's higher price point, so the next recoil might catch me. Usually when I have to scale in, if I'm scaling in because it's against me, my position, then I'm looking to get out for any kind of $2, $5. What I just want to get out green. But if I scale in as it's going with my recoil, that just means I'm going for more money. And then you might see me scale in 100%, which would be another 50% added to the, doubling that next. And again, it's just a way to sort of manage a bad trade. Very risky way to do it. So you need to be careful. And like I said, trade in a simulator first. So you'll see us, that's our strategy. It works. It's 85 to 90% accurate. I do it day after day here. Check out all the videos. And we will be having a subscription service that's going to be a little bit different, where we'll be offering chat coming up in a week or two. And that's join rather than just subscribe. So you'll have to look for that. That's not up yet. And that's going to be, might have some different strategies in there, some different share size in there, some different things for people that have been following me along for a long time that are interested in that other kind of trading as well. So let's get into the news, guys. Let me get straight into the tickers here because we're running out of time. We'll start trading live in just under 7 minutes. So the SPY is long bias. The QQQ is short bias. Get ready with your pencils. SpaceX, the floor is it's long. The floor is 158.90. And that's going to be joining the NASDAQ. So I expect this to go up today. We were talking about it. The ceiling is 166.40. The pivot point is 161.80. NVIDIA long is 191.10 floor, 198.50 ceiling, 194.20 is the pivot point. Tesla is long, 392.60 floor, 402.15 ceiling, 396.40 is the pivot point. Apple is short. It's 302.20 floor, 311.90 ceiling, 309.50 pivot point. AMD is short. 531.10 floor, 542.80 ceiling, 539.40 pivot point. Intel short. 121.30 is the floor, 126.90 is the ceiling, 125.10 is the ceiling, is the pivot point. Okay. Yeah, I was looking at that today too. Amazon long, 239.50 floor, 247.10 ceiling, 242.40 pivot point. MU, $988.40 floor, $1,021.90 ceiling, $1,002.50 pivot point. Now, you can make a lot of money on that stock, but be careful. It did close at $1,041.50 on Thursday before the holiday. Marvel, short, 251.20 floor, 259.40 ceiling, 257.30 pivot. Hood is long, 110.15 floor, 115.80 ceiling, 112.10 pivot point. 5 minutes. The 5 opening stocks. SpaceX is one of the ones to look at. Yeah, I'm thinking I might. They've convinced me to look at Tesla for the open. Tesla is basically got a 402.15 ceiling, which we might want to be careful of. Pivot point's 396.40, so it's already broken the pivot point. Yeah, I don't know. Other ones at the open, they're saying AMD, Apple, and then of course MU. I don't know, guys. Yeah, I don't know. So a quick read again. I'm going to give you the numbers again on floors and ceilings. SpaceX 158.90, 166.40. NVIDIA 191.10, 198.50. Tesla 392.60, 402.15. Apple 302.20, 311.90. AMD 531.10, 542.80. Intel 121.30, 126.90. Amazon 239.50, 247.10. MU 988.40, 1021.90. Marvel 251.20, 259.40. Hood 110.15, 115.80. The overall target range for those: SpaceX 195, NVIDIA 240, Tesla 450, Apple 340, AMD 595, Intel 145, Amazon 275, MU 1150, Marvel 290, Hood 135. Trading in 3 minutes. Guys, be careful. Remember, you do your own due diligence. I don't recommend you trade at the open. We will be looking for a grinding situation around 9:45 East Coast time on the New York Stock Exchange, which is about 15 minutes after open. Wow, so Tesla's already making it difficult to call at the open because it's already going up. And I wanted it to be down here, another buck lower. So we'll look for a dip. It's a scary one to trade. It could put me in a hole right off the bat. And then I'm digging out all day, which I believe happened Thursday, or was that Wednesday? I can't remember. We ended up green. We're green for the month. 7,000 last month, so I haven't put in the new trader view things for this month yet, but I'm still not sure I want to trade the stocks. I'm thinking that I might want to go with something more safe. I mean, I think SpaceX is going to go straight up too. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go back to SpaceX just because I think it will go up even if I get it wrong. So it's a more likely one to hold into a swing if things go against me. So I'm going to go back. I'm sure Tesla's going to take off, right? Because I've made this decision. But I just think that SpaceX might be the more prudent one if there's such a thing at the open to make such a statement. You can see the pre-market data filled in. $1.50 will fill in when the market opens. I will keep this at about 50 shares. We're already up to the ceiling. It tapped it. See, it had a hard rejection there within 8 cents of the ceiling. So these levels are put out by the trading desk, and they're professional traders, the levels that they use, so they're no joke. That's why I try to read them for everybody. I mean, there's hundreds of stocks that are listed. I'm listing the ones that are for large caps here that we trade, that have hit the scanners that we might want to trade. Based on a mathematical formula from yesterday's data, Fibonacci levels and pre-market levels, and they end up being pretty accurate because so many people follow them. It's a proprietary information, mathematical information that I'm sure somebody has leaked at some point. See, Apple's going way up. We were trying to do everything ourselves, and then we bowed down to what was already constructed as far as these datas, and then ran it through our AI prompts. Oh. Is this you guys not hearing me anymore? No, you are. I don't know why my volume looks like it's not working. I have no idea why. Running out of time. There it is. You guys hear me? Okay. I don't know if you were not hearing me there and how long that was happening, but we're back. And we're about to go live on SpaceX, looking for an entry here on a dip. It's not dipping. looking at the bid for anything to go down. It looks like it's just taken off here. I don't usually trade this. I like stuff that's got a little bit more historical data, even though we only go back 10 days. Wow. There it goes. Well, I could have caught that trade back. It was in the 166 range. I mean, this isn't even the first candle yet, so let's give it a breath. Could be some profit taking here. What happened with everything else? Tesla went straight up as predicted. Yep. Wow. We're going to have to jump on this and chase it? It appears so. What's our spread? 28? I'm going to try to get in there. We're way up here now, so it's definitely risky here to get in at this point, but it seems like it's going to keep going, so I'm going to try to ride it for a second. It's just a baby trade, 50 shares, so hopefully that wasn't the high. It broke the ceiling, and when I saw that, I was like, maybe I need to jump on this puppy. But I don't want to ride it into a big dip. I'll just take a quick loss if it shakes me out here. Yeah, it's about to shake me. I just don't want to ride it down. Yeah, I'm going to get out. All right, that's too bad. We'll see if I can pick it up down here on a bigger dip. There was a part of me just thought this might really flush, and I just didn't want to get in a hole right off. So it came back up. It would have been a profitable trade. Oh, well. Just, if you've seen me in the mornings lately, the opening's been becoming a little bit more risky to trade these days for me. And I did want to dip and never got it, so I just took a small loss that I know I can recover from very, very quickly. No more of these $500 down losses are just like, and when you back test and see that stuff, you're just like, why? I mean, I got out. It took an hour or whatever, but I got out, and it was just like, and I got an applause from the Zoom crowd that was trading with me, as they were making thousands of dollars, not being in the hole and with larger share size. Okay, so this is not seriously predictable here. So, you know, I think that a dip down by the VWAP might be a way to go. So let's see if we get down there. That's in the low 165s on the bid. Let's see if we can get down there. That's pre-market centers below that. I mean, it could fade a bit today before the end of the day, I think, is when it goes into the NASDAQ, right? So everybody's going to be forced to buy it then, right? There's going to be so many people buying. They might want to try to drive this price down before that happens. Yeah, so that's something that we have to consider. Yeah, but frankly, I don't like the look of it. Let's see if the VWAP holds it. It needs to hold it before I go in. I want it to hold it. Now, we really don't want to trade for another 11 minutes, but if I see an opportunity with the levels and the indications, you know, right now I got a fib level and I got a VWAP level right there, right? Our catalyst is what's happening later today, so I'm keeping that in mind. It just broke both those briefly. You also have the whole dollar level, 165, which is a $5 level, 5, 10, 15. So that could stop it too. We're coming up to a 5-minute alignment here. Again, this stock, as far as scalping, seems to be very unpredictable as compared to some of the others that are more predictable. So it did return off that level. It did retrace back up. So that was that would have been a $50+ trade right there, and I didn't grab it. But what I did see is that we got support, so I'm more likely to do it the next time if it dips down there. can get it off the market maker price, which won't be as good, but I'd be in the trade for sure. Hitting the bottom of the magnet there. The recoils are terrible right now. I'm not liking the look of them. They say they're that big, but that's because it's skewed from the opening. I'm looking at the recoils, and they're like 15 cents. And that I could get a fill 15 cents from my position if I hit market, so, or more, you know. So I don't know if I'm even going to take another trade here. Right now, it's easy to bail. Okay, I'm going to take that. 39, that's not that bad. Let's hope it doesn't fail there. And it failed there. You know, it held it the one time, so I'll hold it a little longer to see if it bounces back up. Now it's got the fib as a resistance. Right at the 65. And I'm 39 cents above it. Wow, so it really broke it, and I kind of didn't react fast enough, so I'm seeing if it'll come back for a minute. Here we go. I'm kicking myself like, don't do what you did on Wednesday or Thursday. Let's see if it comes back. Both the Q and the SPY turned around too. Yeah, I'm just going to get out. Yep, so 2 bad trades. So starting off with not a good start here, and we need to have this show me something. So I went off that level thinking we were going to get a repeat, a 4-peat right there. Instead, second I got in, it broke the VWAP, it broke the fib, and kept going down. And then I looked over, these went down. Now they're starting to come back up, but we're at the pre-market center. I don't have enough to call this. And obviously my beginning didn't go well. So right now, easily recoverable, but annoying as hell. All right. I'm looking at this. This is what I have above me here, which I didn't call out. A bunch of others set that I can see generally what's happening. NVIDIA kind of looks like it might be an interesting one to do. Apple too, but I feel like Apple's really at its high. Tesla went up and then went down. Wow. That could have actually caught me. I'm trying to hang on to that. So that's scary. I've over the years I've made the most money on Tesla and also lost the most money on Tesla. So it's a real yin yang battle. Microsoft begins more than 3,000 layoffs in its Xbox division. Heard they're changing, isn't it the Xbox that's changing so you can't use your discs anymore at all? It'll all be in the cloud coming up. I know they announced that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was Xbox. Getting people pissed off about that. So all the new machines won't have the disc, but I think it'll take a couple years before that all goes through. I never really got into Xbox, like FPS games, or I was more into the thinking games on your laptop or desktop. I mean, that's not that they're not thinking, but not first-person shooter. Although I was on a Call of Duty team, I can't lie. And I did go on the professional circuit for gaming. It happened. And friends with Richard Garfield, Magic the Gathering, wicked into the, the mathematical formula for that, first in, last out, that's used in so many different games like Yu-Gi-Oh! And all that stuff. So that math always interested me. And when I taught math, I used that, that formula to teach I am digressing. I am to see if SpaceX is. Yeah, it's just see it just would have kept catching me, so it's untradeable. Yeah, so Nvidia's making some moves here. So is Intel. It's grinding up and down, up and down, up and down. And then Apple, too. I don't know what the deal is with Apple. Had that news that it was raising its prices and then it went down. Didn't really make sense because they're just going to make more money as we get near to the holiday season. So raising their prices doesn't make the stock less valuable. Just made no sense to me, but whatever. People are still going to want their Apple crap. You know what I mean? It's not like they had an inferior product. They just raised the price of a superior product. 4 minutes till we try to find a grinder. It is not going to be SpaceX. So let's just get off of it now. Let's see if Nvidia is readable in any way here. Yeah, I still have not, other than trading SpaceX when it IPO'd, I have just not had good luck with it. Yeah, nothing on the 5 minute that's going to help us. Yeah, so we've got some good grinding here. What level is that? 195.50. Let me look at this 5 minute a little bit bigger here. I don't think I put fibs on this, right? No, I didn't do fibs, which might be a good idea because this one's pretty, it's pretty much keeping its same levels. All right, that was high to low. We're right at a fib level, which is where I put a support level. So we'll just get rid of that. And it already was respecting that level. So these fib levels are come in handy. Nature's mathematical formula. Tapped it, turned around right at the 95.50. You know, they're reaction zones. You can never count on this stuff 100%. So I love it when people try to tear me apart by saying, he said it was going to... It's like, guys, I don't know. Nobody knows, right? So you just try to find as many of the probabilities to line up in your favor. That's what you do. It's the probabilities versus what the outcome is. So get them stacked up and then have a controlled entry and exit. Let me just take a look at this. All right, so we're going to go 100 shares based on the liquidity and see if we can get some trades here. So we have the pre-market low right with the market magnet. We're at the point of control market magnet level. There's the pre-market center. Let me see what it said, how it said to trade this. What's the daily plan to trade NVIDIA, guys? Do we have one for that? Floor 191.10. That's down there. Yeah, right there. Yeah. Pivot 194.20. We passed that. That is actually where it is pivoting, right around here. A little bit below it, right where the magnet is, huh? Look at that. And then, Yeah, so you're supposed to have already taken your profit in these zones, so it's not really helping us. So it's basically, Trade Desk is basically saying it should be grinding at these levels for most of the day. So we don't expect. So I think we can call that fib the ceiling at this point, 195.50. We can go short off that. Now the floor could be the VWAP. Just your first floor could be the 195, a $5 level. You could have a backup at the VWAP depending on your share size, which is going to put you down like $19 if you had 100 shares. And then your next support would be the bottom of the magnet, which is based on a 30% of a mega cap and large cap movement on the volume profile. So that's probably fairly accurate. You can see it hit it a few times. So you've got a bunch of support if it keeps going once you get in. I would rather wait, though, for it to come down here to take it, or go short. I want to go short off that level up there. That's what I prefer to do here. So that's what I'm going to look for. We've got a little bit of a mountain to climb. I got 80 bucks in the hole. We want to make $100 or $200 today. So let's see what we can do. Hopefully you can find something that's just moving. Oh, there it is. I just saw something that's just moving now. So now it's doing what it's supposed to be doing, which is Tesla. I'm going to go ahead and go market on that for the move back up. We'll hold that for a minute. I see Tesla's going straight up now, so I'm interested in seeing if we can go long biased on the recoil over there in a minute. But let's see if we can catch a quick green trade over here. Or not. I'm not opposed to averaging in down here. We are at a, what is that? That's a buck off of its floor, its ceiling. See if we can get back up there, guys. So it's where it should be. So it's recoiling back up. Let's see if we can get a green trade. It's really, 100 shares is almost too low, right? Because we're barely getting any movement here. There it is. All right. Well, that was $9. I'm going to take a look at Tesla. Big mess. I just, after watching NVIDIA move, it's going to take a while to, not opposed to it, just I want to try to make up this loss real quick. And then we can relax more into a grinding situation. But we do have a, we do have a stock that's got a bias. It was supposed to be going up today. So that's hard to trade like that. We could chase it. Each one of those are $1.50. Lower that share size. Wow. Yeah, to get a good look at that, it's a big messy chart because it's moving so fast. Yeah, that's $10 up there. That's $10 from its low. Would have been great to catch that, huh? So every one of those is 50 cents. That's why it looks so busy, because it's moving so far that those lines are. So the $400 level, guys, that's a real level. It went right through it. It's right there. The $100 level, you should expect as a serious reaction zone. It's kind of stayed there. It went to 401. No point in even looking at the candles further back because it's just straight up. Can we catch a dip here? Did a hangman up there at the top of that move. Kind of like to see a little bit of dip and then it takes off and then we don't, yeah. Well, that would have been a great trade had I caught that. Just wasn't sure it was going to, it looked like it might flush. I mean, our VWAP's way down here. Here's our, that's a long way down, guys. It's $4. We've got to have a little bit more confirmation here. You SPY in the Q don't move really with Tesla for the most part. Oh, well, it's definitely still, it's not done. Clearly not done yet. What's our spread? Our spread's really not that bad. Jeez, to try to just make sure I get in. I'm looking at the market maker here now to just see about trying to jump in, like if it dips below 401 for a second or right at it. Try to jump in for a quick $30, $40. No, it broke 402. All right. I got in there hoping it's going to keep its swaling up. And we'll look for a bigger swale up. Wow, 401.92. I thought I was going to be in the 60 cent, 401.60 somethings when I hit that market. So it really hit it way up there. So that was a $23 trade. Had I stayed in, it would have been a lot more. As you can see, there's your ATR and there's your fib, and both of them scaring the crap out of me, along with the ceiling. 3 different reaction zones for reversal. So I think it should come down a bit here, retrace. That's what we'd like to see. Then we could try to ride it back up. It's got some strength moving up. So does the QQQ. But we really need it to come back down to earth here a little bit. Hitting that ATR like a hard ceiling there right now. There's the ceiling for the trade desk at 15 cents. I'm going to take it. I got it at 18 cents. So we're looking for the recoil right back up and hope it doesn't keep flushing here. So let's hope is not a strategy. We're looking for a continuation of its move back up to that ATR. Let's get a jump up there to that ATR. Hitting the ceiling for support. You know, I had a $20 trade there a second ago, and I didn't take it. There we go. This looks like it's about to take a move up here. Look at the order flow. It's showing up, yet the price is going down, which is interesting. Nope, I'm going to get out. I don't trust it. I'm just going to get out. We were doing good, and then that happened. I got greedy. Stayed in longer than 20 bucks. I'm glad I got out now. The $400 level would be the way to try it, a place to try it again. Oh, there it goes. All right, it should go up here, guys. And the order flow is saying we're going straight up here. So I jump back in. God, I see. It looks like we got a manipulation going on here. Let's see if we can at least get green on this trade. Green for the day. That's my first goal. Was for a second. Wow, that was not a good look. Is it going to be one of those days? It sure does feel like it. Definitely grasping at straws on these trades, I have to tell you. There's not like an overwhelming data that says get into this trade. So it's just like, if hope's not a strategy, why do we keep using it? Man, is this ever a grind here, huh? All of a sudden. It's waiting until I get out before it goes up. I know its plan. I think I'm just going to start taking some of these little greens and just, instead of trying to get that amount all at once, which isn't much of an amount. See how it keeps reindeer gaming me here. What do they call it? Breadcrumbing? Yeah. You don't really get the meal, you get the crumbs. Wow, it is literally not giving me a chance to even get out unless I do ask. I could get out on the ask. Tried to get it on the swale up, so I got a little bit there. Now it can shoot straight up. I think I'm running about 50% on as far as accuracy goes. Yeah, there it goes, see? Just wants to mess with me. Wants to try to prove that you can't call it. What gives you the right to think you can call it? Well, years and years and years of calling it right. We almost made a bull flag if it wasn't for that little rickshaw man in there. All right, I'm going to go up to 100 shares in view of the way this is moving. I'm going to grab a smoothing level down here, which is about 76, 77. I'll go short off the ATR and long around that smoothing level, which I would not bet the farm on, and try to catch some quick recoils and not get greedy and see if we can scalp our way up to a nice profit. So that's what I'm going to go for. What are we at right now? We're at 87 down. Oh, because I made some on NVIDIA, right? So we're back to my... I do think, normally in the summer we have a big problem anyway, but I mean, usually for churning and resting and, the kind of strategy that I'm talking about here that was for large cap, that we want the slow moving stuff. All right, so the magnet just pushed it up. See that come up? That's going to push it up. So let's see if we can get a short off of this. That's almost at 403. So here's now where most of the volume weighted price is. I mean the profile, most of the volume, the price volume is at this level. Just about 401.50. So it kind of gives us a better floor area now. Yeah, I'll keep that 400 level there. Here comes multi-chart alignment to the 1 hour. So let's see what happens here. They're going to see green across the board, and they're probably going to jump in it because of that. There it went. Here they go. The 1 hour people, the 30-minute people, the 15-minute people, everything lower than the 1 hour had green. You're trading with the crowd. There's a cross there. Is that enough to send it up? There it goes. So 402.60 is the fib. 403 roughly is the ATR, the most respected level right there, the half reaction zone. Yeah, a nice tweezer move up there too, which kind of proved it. Again, guys, we just look at this data, we try to interpret it and see the more things that call out the same potential direction, then the better chance we have. Okay, so here we go. So this is now, do I want to take the chance? 95, I went for it. I sold to get into that position. And I made a nice trade there. So it was a quick scalp. Got back to 9 negative and gave me some positives. So now we're just 62 down. Let's see if we can keep doing that based on that level. That recoil worked. Now let's just make sure it's not too strong. The Pro meter had it 100% when that candle closed. So that's like it's trying to break out right there. You can see that the SPY and the Q are also saying things are going to go up. So yeah, that's why we don't necessarily want to go short right now. Let's see if it retests down here one time again. I mean, I might want to go long. I mean, I'm like to go long off of it now. I mean, it is trending up, if you want to call it a trend. It's over $5 up from its open. Is it going to use this ATR as support now? 403 on the bid. It did. It took it as it was one of Musk's rockets, re-landed, and then took off. Caught in its pinchers, and then took off. If you're wondering why I don't go in on the ask in the biz, because when I take the trade, I want to make sure I get in the trade. So I'm willing to take the hit on the price. I went in on that for a recoil back up. Wow, that was a terrible, yeah, I mean, that should have been another $10 higher. So, yeah, that's where I got hurt by doing market. But it looked like it was going to fade, so I got out. It wasn't really going right back up. Looking for a dip closer to the 403. Let's see how the bid does if it gets down there. See if it actually picks me up at that level. Yeah, SPY and the Q are going down again, so let's watch out here. MACD's sending it down as well. That's EMA crossover. Yeah, so that's why I tried to get it in down all the way down at 88. I'm going to cancel that order. It took too long to fill. Would have filled me right there. Try it again at 66. This time I'll try to get out at the ask and hold it a little longer. We're at the fib. I'm holding this into a deeper move. We're at the ceiling. Trying to make it a bigger play here. And it's killing me. You see what happens is it wears you down, right? And then you suddenly, increase your parameters of risk, and time is you know, ticking by, so I'm trying to get up to our goal. I'm looking to add to my position as it turns around. All right, where's my point of no return? When do I get out of this trade? $402.32 now with that increase. 200 shares. Yep, it had me out for like even money there, and I didn't take it. Both the Q and the SPY have turned around. I'm thinking we're gonna break through that ceiling. That's our resistance right now. 402.15. Oh wow, I looked away. Yeah. I'm looking at the market maker up there as it makes me suffer here. It's twice, 3 times. Max loss per trade right there. I'm at it, and I'm not hitting the button. And then depression set in. Okay. Well, we're not starting off the week well, guys. This was not in the brochure. Watch it come back and break that ceiling now that I'm out, right? There it goes. Just by adding into it, of course, it shook me out. But still, it just toyed with it. It didn't really make me profitable up there. Not that it matters to sit and back test it now when I should be trying to make money somewhere. Look at AMD. That might be my way out of this mess because that's going to give me a lot of money quickly. Let's see if I can. Now, unfortunately, I've got to go for the riskier stocks, right? Or trading in the afternoon to get out of this. Let's see here. Yeah, the only reason I averaged up on Tesla, I was going long, not short, so I wasn't worried about the margin on this account, which is a 50K account, and I don't recommend going into margin. I was trying to manage a bad position, and it backfired on me. And wow. There's the 570. AMD is way past its levels. Never would have figured that would be happening with AMD this morning. I feel like it's so extended. It seems like short's the way to go on this, honestly. Let me get the $1.5 up here. So that's 567. Oh, did I not? Did I not adjust that correctly? Oh, I didn't apply it, huh? Okay. So say okay, then apply. Okay. There we are. Oh, it broke the 570, and I was going to short it. Woo! Save me from myself. Every one of those is 50 cents, so. Let me take a look at this order flow, guys. Just get into scalping here, straight up scalping. We've got good enough volume. $69. This is 69 there. This is, yeah, that's 68.50. Each one of these, what's the range on that? $3. Yeah, that's what I was worried about right there. Tried to get in there right at 68. And that should be, if it keeps doing what it's doing, that should be a good trade, but it could do an anomaly here, so got to look out. There it was. That was a good trade if it picked me up there, but I don't know if it's going to. There we go. So that was a $100 trade. So I just basically rode the order flow on that, and that brought me back to just 213 down. I didn't look how bad down I was. But you could see how this could really go against you too, so you got to be careful. Here's our long. Well, it just went from $1.11 to 74.77. Now 97 cents short. Does not look like it's done doing its dastardly upward move here, huh? Well, that's the first two red candles in a bit. So after it did that before, it took off, right? If you're looking at just strictly patterns, it consolidated and then took off. But we're up a whole new stratosphere up here now. What is our target for AMD? With the all the analysts say the target's 595, so we're not up to the target yet. Let's zoom in on this order flow. We're seeing what this candle's going to do. So it did. You see how the sellers are so weak down here now? Doesn't look like it wants to keep going down. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. I almost hit market there, and then I saw that go down. It was a whole buck, a split second there. Not sure where it would have filled me on market. Looking for a 571 short, I'll tell you that. 571 short up here. I mean, it's not just going straight up, it's retracing. So I feel like it's so extended that the short's the better play if we catch it high enough, you know. So you may have a big drawdown here, big retracement. That's more likely, in my opinion, than for it to keep going up. So we'll wait for a better entry here. It's grinding right here. There's tons of trades here. We could be making 30, 50 bucks every trade here if I called them right. Excuse me. Well, last month we didn't have a single red day. We want to do that again this month. It's been difficult already, but we did it. We've been doing it. Okay, market magnet's going to pull up. See this coming in? You're going to see this pop up from down here, and it's going to be a lot more people in this area are going to see that and want to drive it up higher. So let's watch it pop up. It should be any second. You'll see the purple line come right up there. It is. That's going to be like a springboard now, and that's why this indicator is so helpful. It's called the market magnet, guys, and there it goes. And I did not take it because I'd rather take the short from up there. So that's what I went for. And I'm going to look for the recoil. It might be some real pain before it gives it to me, though. So let's see. $71.14. Looking for a bigger drawdown. Here we go. Oops. Jesus. What did I just do? Yeah. Once again, I get confused and I'm on a short. I go to sell the short. Can you tell I had 5 hours sleep last night? Oh, look how much money that made, too, if I just hung on to it. It is the problem with scalping. You get relaxed about the amount of money because you just don't really, it's not bothering me as much, and then it's sort of a, sort of an effect that you apply to. It doesn't matter as much, so you're not like on the edge of your seat, like what do I do? I'm just relaxed about it, and that leads to mistakes, unfortunately. That's why you need to have your own day trading plan and not follow me verbatim for sure. So had I held that, we'd be green right now for the whole day instead of 151 down. But, you just never know. Again, shorting again would be the way to go if it gets way up here. It is grinding right here, just below the 570. I mean, it broke it all the way up to 572. 15 minutes just straight up. Doesn't look like, anything's happening. Just straight up. 5's got a couple of pullbacks. 1 looks scary as crap in the 1 minute chart. So Do not like this order flow situation. Do not like it. Can't call it here the way it's moving. Got really slow. Yeah, it did get really slow. Look at that. It was 121 volume just a minute or two ago. So it cut it in half. That's why all of a sudden things are looking so slow. That could be enough to send this down. People are leaving the stock, and people are going to take profit now. So could send it down. We could get a big retracement here, so be careful here, guys. Just like momentum stocks, some of these large caps act like them. The SPY is up $1. The Q is up $4. SpaceX is down 2. Nvidia is up 2. Tesla, which we were looking at before, is up 7. Apple is up 4. AMD right here is up $33. Jesus. Intel is up 4. Amazon is down 1. MU is even. Interesting. Marvel up 4. Hood is up 4. Yeah, I looked at that earlier too. I keep almost trading Hood and then don't quite do it. Can we turn around here, or are you just going to keep fading? Because it's getting harder to trade you with this low volume. Volume picked up a little bit there. Our pivot point on AMD was at 539, 542 ceiling. Jesus. Here we go. Yeah, these both turned around. Do I dare go for that? That's tempting to ride it up here. See how these both turned around. Volume picked up, but that was not on the upward move. That was on the downward move. Look how low the volume dropped. Wow. It gets to be untradeable when it's that low. Really jerky fills. The market fills would be terrible. Tesla just broke a new high, 406. Apple broke a new high, 311.39. Nvidia new high, 197.42. Intel highs 127, and this is 571.99. It's climbing its way back up. The volume doubled. Really jerky right here. Really jerky. Spread just goes from 20 to 70 cents. I'm hoping this kind of smooths out a bit because this is impossible. Or just pure luck if you try to do anything here. All right, I'm going to jump off this for a minute because we're running out of time and it's going too slow. This is where I have my bigger loss. So let me see if I can trim some of this. Just got to zero in on what I'm looking at here. Then I'll go straight to order flow. Yep, okay. This looks like we got an upward move here to me. Let me get the whole $1.5 over there, 405. It's made another new high. Man, huh? Not moving like AMD, but it's moving pretty good. Its volume's definitely a lot higher. See if we can catch it. I'm gonna try to catch that dip right there and ride that back up. Got a little bit of there, a little bit there. Mr. T, how he got famous, for those of you older that might know, was on Wide World of Sports, where he was entering the bouncer competition, and he splintered this wooden door, and then as he got famous, I was following him. He would say, he would, the way he, I think the way he talks is an act. You know, he doesn't talk that way for real, but he said that things like, people wonder why I wear mismatched socks. I wear mismatched socks because poor kids in the ghetto can't afford to wear matched socks. And as he says this, the irony is he's got like $100,000 worth of gold chains around his neck. I'm just like, what? Did your agent tell you to say that? Funny, the irony. Sure, I did not do imitation him justice there. And I grew up in the Bahamas, so don't judge me harshly, guys. 405.37. Okay, I'm going to go for that. We're going for the recoil up. I'm not going to get greedy. Just give me a little bit. You silly wabbit. No, up. The other way. Yeah, we want up. I think that actually lost me money on that by the time it filled. But I did not like the order flow look, so I got out. Yeah, it called out a recoil immediately, and it didn't do it, so I knew right away. Oops. There it goes down. I just would have been stuck in that, losing more money. We're getting a little bit bigger retracement here from what it has been doing. It's 405. That should be a more support level. We broke the 9. Here's the 20. This is 404.50 right here. Yeah, right there. Yeah, there's nothing that says recoil long here, so we gotta wait. Seller's right at the top. Engine pretty strong going down. Now there's signs of it turning around. We need a little bit more signs, though. Missing it. All right. Got it at 405.56. I honestly thought that was a pretty good entry, the way it was moving up. Even though the market shaved about 20 cents from where I wanted. Here we go, second green candle. Sellers were really weak down there, so pointing to up here, but it's not seeming to want to do that. Wow, it just stalled right out of my position. Yeah, I don't like this trade, man. It's got to do something now. Good. It actually went to my favor when it filled, which was good. So 89 down now. At least it's doable. these guys are on Zoom know I'm going to stay a little longer. See if we can get this green. Hope you guys are doing good over there. We've been struggling so far this month. We've made it, we're making it, but it's just not those easy days, I can't really, I don't really think, other than just not taking a trade, I don't really see where I went wrong. I'm pushing the envelope, trying to see price action where it isn't very strong, in my direction, and just trying to carve out something. And if you just, I could just sit it out, which is what I probably should do in a market's like this, but I'm just trying to make something happen for everybody, including myself. So I would say short up here again, guys. What's happening every place else now? AMD continued to curl down, so I'm glad I got out of that. Everything's slowing way down. Well, the RV strategy is ending right now. Mostly stops at 10:30, then 11's the next time. And a lot of large cap traders jump out right then. And that's in Day Trading Volume 1, the book. If you don't have it, it spells out how to trade that. And there's thousands of traders that trade that strategy. So after 10:30, things slow down. Definitely after 11. Starts at 10 usually. You get that half hour to hour of liquidity. So volume's going up as it's going up. We got a spike here. We're going to go short up here if we get a spike anywhere near 407. It's climbing. Didn't make it. The longer it takes to go up, the scarier it is to short it. So we had a couple of good trades there, a couple of good recoils I didn't take. 50-cent recoils there, $50 off 100 shares. Let's see if we can get a spike. Last volume was 113. Nothing. It's not really that thickly traded. Wow, that would have been a good trade up there on the short. Okay, it's making its move. $0.15, 16, 19. As high as I've seen is 19 cents above the 06. I don't want to jump in early because it just, yeah, that's too bad. I thought about hitting sell right there, and I didn't do it. Oh well. We just need a couple of good trades here. We're at 89, and we can at least get green before the afternoon session. So we got to call and be careful so it's not getting more red. Seems like 406 is a real resistance, and 406.50 is a stronger resistance. It's making a real flat top right there. Right at that 406.50. That's a well-respected level to go short on. And I was looking for it to go closer to its high because I thought it was going to do another one of those breakouts. But if you look at the pattern, it's not really like that. This one was different. Oh, God, do I chase this thing down? No, we have to wait now, guys. It's not a good setup here. Right in the middle of these channels. The 405 is a real level. That's a $5 level. Spiked right up off of it. All right, so I'm going to go short if it gives me a chance up here again. Here it comes. 406.50 is, I'm not going to get greedy above that. If I can grab it up in there, I'll go for market on a swale up if it gives me a chance. It seems like it's fading off the 406. Nope. Come on, guys. Getting late. I got more sessions to trade. Oh, boy. It's going to make me take a long trade instead of a short trade, and I don't feel good about it. I want to be short biased at this point. 404.51. It broke to 405. Not by a lot, but it's staying below it now. 82, 84, 83. 69. Wow. Okay, well, would have been great to grab this short. I'm not going to play that long right now. I'm sorry. It's not going to do it. Everything is just completely consolidating across, which is, great. That's what we look for. SpaceX is about to hit its pivot at 161.80. Yeah, that's one of the ones I'm red on, right? Is SpaceX? That dastardly SpaceX 86. That's what started my downward slide right there. And then Tesla here was the next one, which I'm trying to get it green while I get green, which is a double good news. All right, so it's not a hangman when it's on a downward move, guys. So it's not even a dragonfly. It's just like a weird doji. Candlestick Pattern Playbook. Read that book. I have a link to it. It rates these and calls them out, so you don't want to make a move on a wrong pattern, because that's not really a reversal sign. Yeah, just not what I was expecting here. The afternoon might afford us a lot more. I could get out of this, maybe 5 minutes in the afternoon. This is just not giving us good price action. I'm going to force a trade and get deeper in a hole. That's what I'm worried about. I don't want to force a trade here. Some days it's just like printing money. It's just like every trade, 20 bucks, 30 bucks, 50 bucks. Or if you're larger share size, 400 bucks, 800 bucks, 1,500 bucks. It's just like other days, just like pulling teeth. With a rope and with a string and a horse. Pulling teeth. The good old days. All right, can we get up here? Yeah, somebody was, Charlie listens to this radio show called Jubal in the Morning, and they do this thing called second date update, where somebody can email into the radio station and can say, ask them to contact the person they dated because they're like, not getting back to them. Is you can find out why. I thought the date went really well. Why aren't you answering any of my phone calls or texts? So they get the person on the phone. It could be a man or a woman. And, hey, this is, let's just say a guy's name. John. Hey, John, this is Jubal in the Morning. Hi, wait, who, what? Is it Jubal in the Morning? What we do here is and then what I just said, the whole second date thing. And he goes, so I'm just going to make up a name. He's like, Virginia emailed us said your date was going, actually, let me do another one. They, she didn't say. Yeah, it was a girl, and the guy had, he emailed, this girl won't get back to me. I thought we had a really good date. And so they get the girl on the phone. It's like they woke her up or whatever and say, who? Oh, that guy. Yeah, that guy. Sound like that didn't go well. They don't know he's listening on the phone, you know. I'm waiting for this to come up here, guys. So, and they said, sounds like that date didn't go well. Well, you know, before the date, I Googled him, and, you know, the guy's really well off. So, you know, I wasn't really expecting much. I mean, he was going to pay for the dinner, but he was so cheap and so stingy beyond cheap that he was arguing with the waiter that he didn't have croutons on his salad, so he wanted the price to be cheaper. And they're like, what? Yeah, the salad didn't have croutons. So he wanted a discount because the salad's supposed to come with croutons. And that was the first sign that things were going really bad. And then, but also she said that he so controlling. It's like he wouldn't let me order what I wanted to order. Like we had drove there in his oh, I'm confusing stories. This isn't the billionaire guy. This is another guy. Sorry. It's just a guy went out to dinner. Yeah, we drove there in his new Tesla, and he was saying I couldn't, you know, I couldn't eat certain foods. I couldn't have that. I couldn't have any finger food because it would get grease in the new Tesla. It would, you know, do this, do that, and I couldn't have seafood because the smell might come in the new Tesla, and it got to the point where it was just ridiculous. He was micromanaging everything I ate, and it was just a horrible experience to get back in. I had to, he made me go into the bathroom twice and wash my hands because he was so, and all he did is talk about his brand new Tesla. It was just like, and then they get him on the phone to respond to what she's saying. It's a $120,000 car. That's like a beach cottage. Forgive me if I don't want, you know, somebody to get greasy hands all over it. And the guy's saying, and the radio guy's saying, like, well, maybe you shouldn't have taken that car on the date. Did you set up the parameters before you got there? No, but you'd think people would have respect. Like, just respect, not for me, but just for the vehicle and what it is. You know, it's a brand new Tesla. And I'm like, dude, you know, do you want to score with this girl or what are you doing? You know, he's just like, and it got worse and worse the more he talked about it. That his Tesla was so important compared to the date, and then at the end they asked well, you know, I'm here to say, you know, asked if you want a second date, we'll pay for it, and of course, she was like, absolutely not. She said, I wouldn't want her to go out anyway. She doesn't respect anything, and I'm just, anyway, it's an interesting show. It's some of the I screwed that story up, but some of them are really funny. Anyway, Charlie is like addicted to that show. Jubal in the morning, or the replays of it. I don't know if it's still on or if it's replays, or because they come on TikTok, you know. All right, so this just faded to nothing, and I'm stuck here. Guys, what are we even going to trade large share size? Everything is going ridiculous. MU. Everybody says MU. Well, it doesn't look like it's exactly moving. Oh, yeah, it is up. It's up $9. $10. That is where we can make thousands and thousands of dollars. And certainly our orders will be filled. Okay, so... yeah, I don't see a trade here, and I'm going to end up taking a trade here that I shouldn't take. This is going to pull the magnet down. Yep, there it goes. Yeah, I have to get away from this. I'm just going to end up taking a trade I shouldn't take. Well, let's take a look at MU, guys. And, you know, if I call it here for lower share size, you can just do it higher share size. For them there folk up on Zoom. That's 1018. Okay, guys, you get to see a little bit about what we do in the bigger sessions. Large share size section, but I'm not going to raise my share size yet. I'll just quarterback for these guys for a minute and see if I can get us some money. We'll go down to, say, 10 shares. Now, what we would do normally on this is we would do a much larger range with the RV strategy. I don't have fibs on this. Let me set fibs up for everybody. That's 125. That's 1255. Give me a second, guys. You have me, so I don't have to rush off this session. This is 12:55. I knew that. Okay, let's see how the big boys trade. What's our leader? 8K. Already 8K. All right. How much do I have to make up on this little account? 90 bucks roughly. All right. Let me get an order flow look here. Wow, that was a big range, huh? $4.30 down. And there is our spread, which is insane. I'm gonna buy the bid right there. Based on order flow, that should pick me up right around the 1013. There I go. Now let's see. I only have 10 shares, so guys, we're going back up for the 15 level. Is where we should end up in just a second. So we're going for 1015. So there's the MACD sending it down. You can add to it at the 14 if you so desire. We're about $1.80 off our goal. It's going to turn around. These sellers were weakening right there. Yeah, so here we go. There's our goal for you guys. Hopefully you made it. We made 19 bucks on that on 10 shares. I look out for the pre-market high. It could be a drawdown of a couple of bucks. Every one of these is 50 cents, so let's go back in it. Buy the bid at, hang on. Now, normally I have a reverse up here, guys. I don't have it here. So I would have reversed and caught that. So this is a little I have to adjust to trade with you guys. And I'd be very careful trading more than 10 shares because this traverses a large area. But if I trade the RV strategy, you'll see me trade. This would have been 1,000 shares, and I would have hit a reverse, and I would have been already a couple $1,000 up. So that's how it works when you have the money to trade. But any share size can do it. And let me see here. So, yeah, we're going to go long again, guys, based on the data here. Let me see if I can catch a dip. We're looking back for the 1013, if it can dip us down there. Let's see if we can get down there. There's 3017, 3220, 2125, 5563. Missed it. Damn, it just didn't get down there enough. There was the same trade, but and just as good on a reverse. It right above the 15 again. Let me just try to zero in on this. I'm not used to trading this with this account here. Without the reverse, everything. I don't have my same setup here, so let me just try to focus and stop whining about it. That's the relative strength. This is the level I was worried about it rejecting off of, a pre-market high. It did go down. That's at the 1016.50. $2019. Yeah, I think we want to go long. I'm looking for a dip. I'm going to try to catch a smaller dip right there, and we may have to hold that in, but it's gonna break up, I think. So we're going for a larger break up to like $1,017. So let's wait for a second for that. Now you can add into it down here if it keeps going down. Looking for just above the 17 level. 1017 is where I would take profit and reverse. 1017, let's go for it. Here's our ask. We were almost up to 16. It is a little jerky motion, pretty slow, huh? Low volume. Yeah, this is lower. This is slower than I like to see it go here. Here comes the 16 level. Here comes, it should punch through now. Get ready. Nice big move. Man, they definitely got some people messing with that over there. I was looking at there's definitely some hidden orders there. You can see it just comes to a stop when it shouldn't. So yeah, big boys messing around here. Some profitable trades, but not what it should be doing here. Again, it drops off the 1625. There's an iceberg there, I think. There it goes. It blew by it. Okay, so it should hit the 117 now. Interesting. They pulled it and put it back up is what they did. Here it goes. So that should be the 1017. There it goes. So that got us up a little bit more for here. I think I'm going to have to go more than 10 shares or this will take too long. Let me go up to 20 shares. And I knew it was going to happen. It just took a minute because of some shenanigans going on here. So hopefully you reversed where I said because it went right back down. That was your reverse. I didn't reverse. Okay, so wow. Would have been a great trade if we had reversed right there, huh? All the way down to 1011. I'm not going to jump long on that yet. I'm waiting. So all the way down at 1003 is the center. It did tweezer down there not too long ago. That's a really strong downward move. See it? It's just right at the strongest it could be. Coming up to a 5-minute alignment. Look for a reversal right here, guys. We're at 1043, 1143, 40, 50, 28. Can we get to the 10? 1010 is a reversal. Look for 1010 if we can get there. Reversal at 1010, guys. Looking 68, 38. What is holding this up? Yeah, I see 1010 has like 3,000 shares. Yeah, it reversed it there. Yeah, they can do spoofing on these. I've noticed this. We watched this we traded this the other day, and they were spoofing with 6,000 and 10,000 shares. So it was like 6 to 10 million being pulled in and off to scalp, That's scalping orders. $6 and $10 million worth of capital being dropped in to scalp. So, I mean, we drop in a lot, but it's a real lot. So it's not hitting the 10. I mean, it reversed at the 10 there. See how it tapped it and went right back up. But now, the way it's moving, I didn't call the trade because I was worried. So yeah, I'm worried about calling this right now. Give me a sec. Oh, some of you are in it short. Good for you. Here's our VWAP coming up. I can't step out of my conservative mode in this account. Really? 07, huh? 07.50. That's where you decided with your rickshaw man. 07.50. We're back at the $10 level again. Oh yeah, there it goes. Here it comes. It's gonna go. I'm gonna hit market just so I get in it. It's about to push. Wow, that really should have gone. 110.87. That looked like it was really gonna blow right there for a second. It was real strong, and then it just didn't do it. Can I afford this on this account? This many shares? Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, without margining. Yeah, there we go. There we go. So we got it on the move. It was just a little delayed. So 39. This is, as you can see, this is really risky, guys. Yeah, 10 shares is just $10,000. So 20 shares is $20,000. Okay. And there it went. So we have our 9 and our 20 coming up. Going in. Right out there. 29. Look for a dip down to 1,013 if you can get it. I've been doing market, which is painful. Wow, did you get that? I didn't. Tried to get it down there. Holding. I'm going to cancel that order. Try to get it again down there. That time I'm in it. 1175. I actually think that's a pretty good spot. We'll see. I'm looking at the ask to get out. Try to get out up there. Here we go. 82. Did that get me green yet? Oh my God, I'm so close. Let's get green. Okay, the level I would call again is 1,010. 1,010 is our level to go long if we can get it. You short off the 1,013. Reverse at the 1,013. Grab it at the 1,010. Here we go. Yep. It actually broke below it. We'll give it a second. Yeah. It's like wait for the recovery. Give it a second. Here it comes. It should head up now. Wow. I gotta remember this stock. I gotta remember how this stock messes with you. Yeah, now we're getting some upward. It's like a 30-second delay on the level 2. It's really weird. I mean, it's not actually delaying. I mean, how the price action moves. It's not the platform. It's like just the price action itself. So we got green. I got out sooner than I told you guys, but I'd wait for the 13. I got to change my layout. I don't like what this layout. So we made it green. For those of you on stream, we did something a little different there. Traded MU, but I think this is going to hit the 1013 in a sec. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'll probably be back for an afternoon session, but definitely back in the morning. All right. I hope you guys are doing well and go green out there. We got green. Yay.